Matty B with your tip of the day, getting you in the best shape of your life and keeping you there. And today we're going to discuss is how dangerous GMOs can be for you. And this next thing we're discussing is something they chemically did, genetically modified it, to corn to make it extremely dangerous. And I'll let the video tell the rest of that story.
There's a soil bacterium called Bacillus thuringiensis, or BT. And if you take that bacteria and gather it up and use it as spray, the BT toxin produced by the bacteria will kill insects. So engineers take the gene that produces the toxin and insert it into corn and cotton and allow the plants to do the killing.
Every single cell within that plant is producing a toxic protein.
BT is designed to break open the stomach of insects and kill them. So when the doctors hear about this, that BT corn was introduced into our diet in the mid-90s, they say this may explain the increase in gastrointestinal problems that they're seeing in their practice. But the EPA says, don't worry about BT toxin. It's completely harmless to human beings and animals because it only affects insects. However, a study that came out in February 2012 showed that the EPA got it wrong. It does break open little pores in human cells, and it might cause the same kind of disruption in our guts as it's causing in the insects that it kills.
If Bacillus thuringiensis is causing an increased propensity for our intestine to become permeable or leaky and for foods to be presented to our bloodstream in a premature fashion, the havoc that it will cause will be across the entire spectrum of disease, from premature aging and Alzheimer's to Parkinson's to autism to cancer to asthma. There is no part of the spectrum because we start the same as if you buy a brand new car and it says on that it's meant to run on gas and you go put diesel in it, you can expect it won't go very far. So when you put the wrong fuel into your body and by making your intestine leaky, we are permitting building blocks to go into our body that are the wrong fuel.
There's only been one human feeding study on genetically modified foods. And they found that part of the gene inserted into soybeans that make the soybeans Roundup ready transferred into the DNA of bacteria living inside our intestines and stayed there. Furthermore, that bacteria was not killable with Roundup, suggesting that the gene remained active. This means long after we stop eating genetically modified foods, we may still have these genetically modified proteins produced continuously inside of us. They never checked to see if the BT toxin gene transferred from, say, corn chips into our gut bacteria and continued to function. If it does, it might turn our intestinal flora into living pesticide factories. This might explain why 93% of pregnant women tested in Canada had the BT toxin in their blood, as well as in the blood of 80% of their unborn fetuses. The authors of the study suggested that the BT toxin came as a result of eating the milk and meat of animals that ate Monsanto's BT corn. But I think a more plausible explanation is that the BT toxin was produced continuously inside their own digestive tract.
So that starts to explain why GMO foods are extremely dangerous. It's not something that's covered in the news, nobody talks about it, but if you do your research, it's extremely dangerous. So do yourself a favor, find out what you're eating and make sure that it has nothing to do with GMO. For example, I do not eat corn, which is GMO, but I love red meat. And as I was eating beef, I wasn't thinking, but the beef eats the corn. So now I eat only grass-fed beef. So I'm just everything I can to prevent myself from eating any GMO foods. I do it as soon as I find out how. Talk to you tomorrow.